The first emanation of Guru Padmasambhava is called Guru Padma Gyalpo. Gyalpo means king. Guru Padma Gyalpo is the form in which Guru Padmasambhava originally appeared in our world. He is directly related to Buddha Amitabha, the Buddha of the Western direction, as well as to Avalokitesvara. The Buddha Amitabha represents the Dharmakaya, Avalokitesvara the Sambhogakaya, and Guru Padmasambhava the Nirmanakaya. Amitabha, Avalokitesvara and Guru Padmasambhava encompass all possible emanations of the Trikaya. Maybe you are wondering how such forms as Dharmakaya, Buddha Samanta Buddha, Samanta Bada, Buddha Vada Sattva are included. These are all contained within the three Kayas of Amitabha, Avalokitesvara, and Guru Padmasambhava. The entire mandala of all the Buddhas and all the Kayas are within Guru Padmasambhava. Not only is he an important member of the Lotus family, but he also embodies the whole mandala. The three Kayas are symbolized by the three Buddhas of the Padma family, one of 5 families of Buddhas, each representing an aspect of primordial wisdom. In the mundane sense, the Lotus family is associated with common perception. Esoterically, it corresponds to our karmic winds and the speech center. Ordinary views are transformed through deepening resonance with the primordial wisdom qualities of the Padma family, such as boundless loving-kindness and compassion for all sentient beings. The radiation of love and compassion coursing through the channels by the arising of wisdom winds is the inner action of this family. Among the many beneficial activities characterizing the life of Buddha Shakyamuni, 12 are commonly noted. Of these, speech is his most powerful action. Despite his great love and compassion, even the Buddha could not magically liberate anyone from the ocean of samsara. Sentient beings are subject to their own karmas, and even Buddhas must respect this. The power of the Buddha's speech grants knowledge of antidotes which can help rescue sentient beings from samsara and establish them in the enlightened condition. Bereft of speech, the Buddha cannot offer much to sentient beings other than those who already have higher capacities and can receive teachings on the Sambhogakaya level. The Lotus family symbolizes the power of speech and the spirit of love and compassion. The Vajrayana family, the Karma family, and the Buddha family are all contained and emanated within the Padma family, the Lotus Lords of all Buddha families, and Guru Padmasambhava is the supreme embodiment of them all. Now, I will tell you some details about the early life of Padma Gyalpo. According to Tibetan history, Guru Rinpoche was born 4 years after Buddha's Mahaparinirvana. Although Buddha Shakyamuni's prediction about the coming of Padmasambhava is rendered as 8 years, the system used in India divides the month into 2, reflecting the waxing and waning of the moon. According to the Tibetan calendar, Buddha Shakyamuni entered Mahaparinirvana during the Iron Dragon year and Guru Padmasambhava was born in the Wood Monkey year in the Monkey month. In Tibetan Buddhism, every monkey year is considered the year of Guru Padmasambhava. Bodh Gaya is a village in India where Buddha Shakyamuni became fully enlightened. All Buddhists consider Bodh Gaya the spiritual geographic center, the supreme power spot of the universe. In Tibetan we call it Doriden, which means indestructible Vajra throne. It is also taught that every one of the 1,000 Buddhas destined to appear in this aeon will attain enlightenment there. Buddhist cosmology explains that after hundreds of aeons, this world will be destroyed by fire, water and wind. Everything will be reduced to atoms and scattered throughout space, without even a trace remaining. However, under the Vajra throne at Bodh Gaya, there is a double dodger which cannot be destroyed by fire or water. It will endure beyond the end of the present world cycle. What appears externally as the Vajrayana of Bodh Gaya exists internally as the path which leads to the realization of our primordial nature. Guru Padmasambhava was born to the northwest of Bodh Gaya in a kingdom known as Oddiyana. Oddiyana has always been considered a very mystical place and is praised throughout Vajrayana literature. This mysterious land expresses a natural power in earth forms and subtler environmental structuring and became a major source of esoteric Vajrayana teachings. In the center of Oddiyana is the city of the Dakinis, and in that city is the palace of the Herukas. Northwest of that palace, there is a small lake known as Dhanakosha. Buddha Amitabha emanated a golden light from his heart center that took form as a 5-pointed golden Vada inscribed with the syllable HRI. It landed right in the center of an Udambara flower, a very rare and precious species of lotus growing in Lake Dhanakosha. A youthful Padmasambhava miraculously appeared from the union of the golden Vada inscribed with HRI and this beautiful 1,000-petaled lotus growing in Lake Dhanakosha. Normally we take birth by means of parents, but by spontaneously appearing Guru Padma Gyalpo opens us up to the panoramic vision of the true nature. In order to break our habitual pattern of gradually taking birth through conception in a womb, he demonstrated the freedom of taking birth instantly. He reveals a new door, the primordial condition of great openness. The king of Oddiyana was an extraordinary man named Indrabhuti. He was very kind, compassionate, and generous. During a time of great famine, he gave away the contents of the royal treasury to feed his subjects, yet still more was needed. In ancient times, it was common to sail the ocean in search of jewels and treasure. So King Indrabhuti took to sea with his ministers and found gems on a distant island. On the way home, the king had many beautiful dreams. In one, he saw a 5-pointed golden Vajra radiating golden light in every direction. It came so close that he was able to hold it in his hand. At the same time, he dreamed that the sun and moon were both rising in the eastern sky. The very next day after these wonderful omens appeared, Indrabhuti encountered Padma Gyalpo. As the boat approached the shore, the crew saw beautiful rainbows arch across the heavens. A great host of birds hovered in the sky, singing delightful songs. Celestial fragrances pervaded the air. The moment they saw these signs, everyone felt blissful. The king was moved to relate his dreams to the ministers. After getting into a smaller boat, they immediately set sail toward the source of the rainbow display. As they got closer, they beheld a magnificent lotus. None of them had ever seen a blossom like this before. It was an uncommonly large and brilliant flower, but more than that. There, seated upon the pollen bed, was a beautiful, sublime 8-year-old boy, glowing and radiating rainbow light while seated in the Vajra posture. The king was completely astonished. Although Guru Rinpoche appeared as a human being, he demonstrates something here which is totally beyond our dualistic conceptions and regimented views by coming into this world in the center of a lotus. He did not come through biological parents. This signifies that Guru Padmasambhava is free from both attachment and anger. He is not accompanied by any negative emotions. Instead, he subdues and transforms all anger and attachment into their corresponding wisdoms, as symbolized by this glorious lotus. This means that practitioners who follow the path of Guru Padmasambhava or Buddha Shakyamuni must cut through and transform anger, aggression, and neurotic desire. Up until that moment, Indrabhuti had been blind in one eye. Now he was healed. He was awed by this miraculous display and immediately asked 5 questions of the young child. These were, where do you come from? What is your father's name? What is your mother's name? What do you do? And what do you eat? Guru Padmasambhava answered, I come from the unborn Dhanbardhatu. My father's name is Kuntuzangpo, and my mother's name is Kuntuzangmo. Sigh. In Tibetan. This is goodness that never changes. Goodness that what is goodness goes. Yes, it is today. It is today. The child inside and sends I don't could you as that mysteries King and Raboti. The radiance of his body and speech penetrated the king's heart at a deep level. Greatly moved by all of this, and with no son of his own, the king asked, "Will you come to my palace and live with me?" The young Padma Gyalpo accepted this request and went with the entourage to the palace. King Indrabhuti was a very kind and compassionate man. He had an extremely open mind and served all his subjects according to the Dharma. Guru Padma Gyalpo was raised as a prince. He helped Indrabhuti rule the kingdom with bodhisattva and guide the people on the right path toward enlightenment. He taught them how to stay free of headaches and worries so that harmony and peace reigned throughout the country. Guru Padma Gyalpo eventually married a beautiful lady known as Orkima, she who radiates light. Then one day Buddha Vajrayana appeared to Guru Padmasambhava, telling him to leave Oddiyana in order to benefit sentient beings in a more active way. Heeding these instructions, Guru Padmasambhava departed Oddiyana at about age 30. He left the palace on foot and wandered many places. But even the most basic aspects of his journey were not ordinary. For instance, he would arrive wherever he set out for instantly. Time had no effect on Guru Rinpoche's activities. He travelled throughout India frequenting the most powerful and frightening cemeteries, known as the 8 charnel grounds. He subdued the 8 classes of spirits and directed them onto the path of bodhisattva, the unified state of loving-kindness, compassion and wisdom. In the conventional sense, Guru Padmasambhava brought all the subjects of Oddiyana into harmony on the path of enlightenment so that they excelled in the practice of peace, love and compassion. On the inner level, he subdued the 8 classes of negative spirits and bound them in service to the practice of bodhisattva. Surrounded by both dakas and dakinis, Guru Rinpoche displayed the splendor of his wisdom, which spontaneously overcomes the most powerful of visible and invisible beings so that they regard him as their supreme monarch or king. This is the real victory of Padma Gyalpo, the Lotus King, a very special emanation of Guru Padmasambhava who magnetizes perception and conception beyond ego-clinging and negative emotions while actively increasing our joy, peace and spiritual realization. We should understand what is meant by magnetizing. It doesn't mean bringing an external object such as another sentient being under your control. To magnetize one's perception is to overpower the mind of mundane habits. If you don't have that ability within yourself, you cannot magnetize or help other sentient beings. Since you are still a little wild and crazy, how can you tame others? To help other beings, you can't be crazy yourself. Once we are able to overpower dualistic perceptions and mental habits, we magnetize others naturally. Practice and meditation on Guru Rinpoche's Padma Gyalpo outshines mundane views and deluding emotions and enriches our accumulations of merit and wisdom. Guru Padma Gyalpo openly exhibits the splendor and magnificence of the Padma family wisdom. He is surrounded by a glorious retinue of dakas and dakinis who receive his teachings. Through the lavish display of this gathering, he is offering the same wealth to all beings. That is the external way to understand this emanation. On the inner level, Guru Padma Gyalpo is saying that those who follow this path must control their senses, study perceptions, subdue ego clinging, and transcend their emotions. If you cut through ego clinging, you are a great sovereign. You have mastered your relationship with everything you see and hear. In perfect command of your feelings and responses, you have the power and dignity of a splendorous king or queen. Having subdued ego clinging and attachment to negative emotions, you are truly victorious. In Tibet, to have overcome all negativity is known as having attained the heroic state. One has become a conqueror or universal monarch. According to ancient Buddhist cosmography, a universal monarch or Chakravarti is one whose kingdom includes all 4 continents of a world system. To relinquish ego clinging and be free of neurosis is to fully awaken to the enlightenment of all the victorious ones as your very own. In brief, that is the meaning of Guru Padma Gyalpo, the Lotus King or Padma Raja. Padma Gyalpo's skin is pink or reddish, while his robes are sort of orange and a little more red than yellow. He is visualized sitting on a lotus upon sun and moon discs, relaxing in the royal posture with 1 face, 2 arms, and 2 legs. He is semi-wrathful, so some teachings say to visualize him with 4 arms. His long hair is pulled up into a knot and wrapped in a white cloth that has a small gathering of red material emerging from the top. This same red silk is flowing out, as if carried by a gentle breeze behind his head. He also wears a tiara of 5 jewels. In his right hand is a small damaru, and in his left he is holding a mirror and a hook. The mirror symbolizes wisdom. Through wisdom, everything appears as it is, although nothing truly exists. Phenomena arise and pass like forms in a mirror, a mirage that suddenly appears and just as quickly dissolves. The mirror also suggests unceasing manifestation, free of clinging and attachment to concrete objects. There are other sadhanas on Guru Padma Gyalpo, some of which describe the left hand as holding a bell and hook, and others a ritual arrow. The hook symbolizes great compassion. This is to rescue all sentient beings who are trapped in the experience of samsara. This is the form to visualize when meditating on Guru Padmasambhava as Padma Gyalpo. The notions which constitute samsara are no other than one's own thoughts and conceptions. What you experience is largely defined by your own dreamlike perceptions. It has no true basis and does not refer to real entities or solid objects. This is a dream, or perhaps a nightmare. A nightmare is not recognized by the person who is suffering within it. It is really not a substantial or determinate reality, yet the dreamer's understanding of his experience suggests that it is. Generate great compassion for all sentient beings as they are temporarily caught up in this illusion, and gently lead them to liberation. Never give up or lose compassion. Press on and guide all beings to unsurpassed, great enlightenment. As in any practice, begin by taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. Feel love and compassion for all sentient beings and do a little meditation. Then imagine a small circle of red light in the space before you which instantly transforms into Guru Padma Gyalpo. Recite the 12-syllable mantra as long as you can while holding the visualization. Finally, dissolve Guru Padma Gyalpo back into a red point of light which merges with your heart center so that there is no difference between you and him. Meditate in this way for as long as you have time. When you are done, dedicate the merit and make aspirational prayers. This is a very powerful and special practice which will enrich your vision. According to the commentary by Lama Mipan, the effects of practicing on Guru Padma Gyalpo depend upon your level of approach. If you are a leader, your leadership will become more stable and benign. If you are just a regular being, you will become more lovable. If you want to be loved and appreciated, practice on Guru Padma Gyalpo. The peace of mind and calming of the body soon experienced are a sure sign of effectively purifying negative emotions. By going to the charnel grounds, Guru Padmasambhava is teaching us that in order to practice and meditate, we really have to be fearless. We must have courage beyond hopes and fear and get beyond their endless implications. Having smashed expectations and doubts, you realize great equanimity and can act fearlessly. From the viewpoint of realization, evil spirits are no other than the display of one's own mental tendencies. But to the ordinary mind which clings to notions of subject and object, these energies may be viewed as the actions of naughty or mischievous beings who like to chase us around. As long as we hold to the notion of solid subjects and objects, there will be conceptual and experiential effects. Guru Padmasambhava brought these demons under control within his mind. Could you say briefly why we use the symbol of the lotus instead of another flower? The lotus grows in muddy water. Because of this, it is always compared to bodhicitta and the bodhisattvas, those noble ones who take birth in samsara but are never affected by worldly conditioning. Similarly, the mud never affects the beauty of the lotus. It is always pure and beautiful. So, Padma means lovely one. According to the Vajrayana, this lovely one is no other than the truth of love and compassion, which is symbolized by a lotus. My question is about the symbolism of the color red. In the Vajrayana, all colors, implements and gestures are symbolic, with a wealth of meaning behind every attribute and gesture. In this context, red represents loving kindness. This is called great love beyond attachment. To move from attachment to loving kindness beyond grasping is symbolized by the color red. Love is great detachment. Since we live in the dream state, how can we tell the difference between truth and illusion in our perceptions? In equanimity, all are seen as equal. There is no distinction of good or bad. If it is true, it is all true. If it is untrue, it is all untrue. There is no relative up and down, no judgment day in equanimity. Therefore, the ultimate dream and the non-dream state are understood to be the same. But when you are obscured, you only see a little bit and judge aspects of dream experience as being important. This is how sentient beings perceive the world. As we sit and look at you, are we seeing what you have emanated, or is it a reflection of our own perception? It is both. When I look at you, you are giving me something, and I am also giving something to you. And when you look at me, I am giving something to you, and you are giving something to me. It is a mutual exchange. But regardless of what happens in the stock market, once you see whatever you see, it becomes a mental construct which is completely your own private understanding. All the input is brought back to your individual mind, where it becomes your own personal business. Ordinary perception and communication suggest that there are two different things, private and public, but in the higher levels of equanimity, both are merged in a transcendent sameness.